All right, here we are. Welcome back. What a day. Today we're doing, oh, this is the song of the day. Today we're doing reviewing, factoring, and solving. All right, factor and solve. I got a bunch mixed in here. All right, of some factoring and some solving as well. Okay, so it'll be a little bit of a review. So let's get started. How about it? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, here we go. I don't know if we've done this yet, but these problems like just kind of happened. I want to make sure before we start factoring and solving, I want to make sure this is equal to zero. All right. So in order to factor, excuse me, in order to solve or to factor, I need to have a zero here. Okay. I can't have the 5n over there. I need to have the zero. So I move everything to the same side as the square term. I'm going to say that again. You want to make your squared term positive. You want to keep it positive. Okay. So I need to move everything to the same side as of the equal sign. All right. Next, I want to factor. I want to find two numbers that multiply to 24. Oh, buckets. Wow. Start that over. All right. Two numbers that multiply to negative 24, and those same two numbers must add to negative 5. Okay. Well, the only two numbers that can be is 3 and 8. 3 and 8. One of them has to be negative since it's a negative 24. I want to get negative 5. Well, if I made this 3 negative, that would give me positive 5. So I need the 8 to be negative. Remember, we're not done. All right. I want to express this as n plus 3 with my factors n minus 8, which would be negative 8 as well. All right. And that's equal to 0. After this step, okay, set each factor equal to 0 and solve for n. So I subtract 3, I get n equals negative 3. I add 8, I get n equals positive 8. There are two solutions. Okay. I'm going to have you pause this video. First thing, before you even pause it, I want to make sure that minus 5v is on the other side. Let's make this negative and make this positive 5v. Okay. All right. Well, there's a reason I'm laughing. Hope maybe you recognize it. But I want you to go ahead and pause the video here. Make sure you're listening with your ears. Pause it. Pause it. Pause. Stop. Pause it. And factor and solve this one. Okay, so maybe you recognize why I started laughing. Because it ends up being the same thing. It's my mistake. Whatever. That's all right. Got a battle. You should get 3 and negative 8. So this time it's just the opposite, negative 3 and 8. So maybe I did that on purpose. You never know. How about it? All right. So again, I need to make sure it's equal to 0. So I got 3b squared plus 4b minus 7 equals 0. All right. Again, first question I should always ask myself, is there a greatest common factor? Unfortunately, there is not. Okay. So I'm going to multiply my first number times my last. So I get negative 21. I'm going to think about the factors of negative 21 that'll add to give me 4. Well, 1 and 21, 3 and 7. Uh-oh, I want positive 4. Make that a negative. Excuse me. Make that a negative. Excuse me. Make that a negative 3. Now, some of us like the box method, right? When we do this. All right, so I'm just going to rewrite it. So this is 3b squared minus 3b plus 7b minus 7 equals 0. Remember, some of us like the algebraic method. If you're an algebraic method person, I'm going to show that first. So we need to group it. We have 4 terms. What the heck? I have 4 terms. I factor by grouping. If you're a box person, I'll do that as well. Don't you worry. All right. So I notice there's a greatest common factor of 3b, and what's left over is b minus 1. In the second set of parentheses, I know this greatest common factor is positive 7, and I have b minus 1. That's equal to 0. Since these two match, my first factor is b minus 1. My second factor is 3b plus 7. And then I would solve from here, but I'm going to go ahead and do the box method now. Okay? If you aren't a box person, go ahead and fast forward. So if I was a box person, all right, my box would look like this. where I have 3b squared minus 3b positive 7b minus 7. Okay. Greatest common factor across would be a 3b. Greatest common factor here would be a 7. Greatest common factor vertically would be a b. Greatest common factor vertically again is -1 since this first term is negative. All right, and again I get 3b plus 7 and b minus 1. Well, here I know that b equals 1. Here is a little bit tougher, so I'm going to show the work for this. Subtract the 7. 3b equals -7. Divide the 3. Divide the 3. So that b equals -7 over 3. And you can leave it like that as the improper fraction. Okay. I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to ask you to do this. And all I'm going to do here, all right, remember before you even start, I'm just going to help you out with this. Before you get started, all right, there you go. All I'm going to do is show you the answers for this one. I'm not going to show my work. I'm just going to show the answers so you can check your work. Okay. Here we go. We're back. I got my two factors to be 2n minus 7 and n minus 6. Remember, you know they both need to be negatives because this is a positive 42 to get n equals 6 and n equals 7 over 2. Okay. For these next two problems, I just want you to factor. Okay, I just want to factor. I just want to remember. Okay, so remember this can be written as 16b squared plus 0b minus 25. Now the question continues to come up. How do I know when to add the 0b in or 0x in, whatever, and when to not? The only time you're going to do it, all right, the only time you'll do this, well, I don't like to say only, but most of the time that you'll do this is when these two numbers here are perfect squares and there's a subtraction symbol. If this were 16b squared plus 25, I wouldn't be able to do that, all right? But since it's minus 25, I can go for it. And we could think about this within the box method, okay? I like the box method the most. I don't play favorites, but I do like it a lot. Like this. Now I figure out, all right, well, what am I going to have to put in here so that these numbers cancel out? All right, they cancel each other out. Well, I know that 4b and 4b will give me 16. And I know that 5 and 5 will give me 25. Well, if I want the negative 25, one of them will have to be negative. So this is 20b, and this is negative 20b. Oh, look, these two cancel each other out. All right, so our factors here are 4b plus 5, 4b minus 5. Wow, that's good stuff. 16 square root 16 is 4. Square root 25 is 5. That's also where those numbers come from. All right, looks like we have a difference of two squares again. So I'm going to write this as 9k squared plus 0k minus 25. Go ahead and factor that one. All right, so hopefully you got 3k plus 5, 3k minus 5. If you're a box person and did the box, all right, your box would have looked like this. 9k squared negative 25, 5, 3k, 3k, and positive 5. And then this would have been 15k and negative 15. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's do some more. All right. I noticed that. Is there a greatest common factor? No. No, there's not. Okay. Since there isn't, I know that 25 is a perfect square and 1 is a perfect square, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. So, wow. What I want to do here is I'm going to make my box. All right. I got 25n squared and I have 1. Well, I know this is going to be 5n and 5n. I know this has to be 1 and 1. Well, if I have 5n here and 5n there, and I want negative 10, then both of these 1s must be negative to make these negative 5, so I can get the negative 10. All right, also, negative 1 times negative 1 will still give me positive 1. So I have 5n minus 1 and 5n minus 1, which we write, remember, we write as 5n minus 1 quantity squared. as our final answer. Okay. This is pretty sweet. This is cool. I heart math. Don't you? Yes, we all do. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and try that one. Go for it. All right, I chose to do the box on this one. You didn't need to. You could have gone old-fashioned like we did up here. All right, you could have gone like this. Okay, two numbers that multiply and add. All right, but I ended up getting a plus 3 and a plus 3 to get a plus 3 squared. All right, that's our review for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Have fun. Enjoy math. I heart math every day. So do you. Okay. Adios.